Welcome to Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, the channel where we get it all in. You can also learn more about the I Am Melanin Magic brand. Thank you for stopping by. Greetings. Welcome to Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri. Hello, beautiful butterflies and perfect people. You are with Tunisia Ali today. And as I was going through the comments, I try to get to the comments. Since I've been doing this channel for 2.75 years, actually it's closer to probably 2.8, but I'm not at 3 yet, but I will be soon. I remember what it felt like to get that very first comment, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. And in a very unexpected way, you guys became a part of my world. I can't even explain to you what it was like, because I wasn't anticipating any of what has happened from the time I started the channel up to now. So to me, it's really important to go through when I can and to acknowledge the comments. And without going through all 3 years, if I had to give a percentage, I would say I try to respond to at least 95% of the comments. And oftentimes I'm writing in the comments, which challenges me because I have a pretty busy schedule, but it's something that I take a lot of pride in. There have been channels that I've supported, Patreon channels that I've supported, and not gotten so much as an acknowledgement. And I know what that feels like. And I guess maybe because, I don't know, with my business, I believe in trying to give personal service. It's kind of important to me. And while I have the time to do that, when I have the time to do it, I try to make an effort to do it. So today I was going through. By the way, that's my way of saying thank you and I love you and I appreciate all of you. So as I was going through the comments today and trying to give some commentary or some feedback, some of them I just can put the I love you kind of acknowledge. Some of you guys aren't really asking questions, and that's kind of good in a way, because usually the answers are throughout the other videos, but then I don't really have the luxury of responding to every single comment, if one was asked. And it's a OCD thing. So if you ask the question, I'm going to feel like I got to answer even if I don't have time. So it's kind of a nice balance. But today, as I was going through, I said today's video is going to be me responding to some of the comments. So I was going to go in a linear sequence from the most recent comment and just work my way back. And I want to continue to do this on a regular basis. So if this looks like something that you are interested in, stick around. So I saw 2 comments that I really had to pull out before I go in a linear sequence. And I want to associate the comment with the person's name as a way of giving you a shout out. Before I even begin, I want to tell you thank you for giving comments. I love it when you guys comment. Please keep commenting. It helps me to know who's out there. It also, there are some names that I just see all the time. Shout out to Polita64. Shout out to Armada, my Patreon sister, and so many others of you, Sonia Newsome, just like Mary, so many of you guys that I'm familiar with on other channels or via my healing business, or even maybe you've been purchasing some of the products before the website went up, and so we correspond back and forth via my phone. Shout out to Ali Locs. Much love to y'all all over. Shirley B down in Texas. All of you guys. Shirley, you were one of the first ones. Armada, you did the 25-day challenge way back in the first few months of this channel. So I love all of y'all, but I had to highlight some of these comments. This is from Melee Last. Okay, and this was from the video on Sisterlocks can cause hair loss and balding. And y'all know this is something I take very seriously. I'm becoming more and more serious about it because too many of you guys are presenting to me pictures and experiences related to hair loss and thinning, which I know for most of you has nothing to do with anything except the trauma of the retightenings and so forth and so on. And then also, I'm concerned because as my hair gets longer and it starts to change, and as we go through the change as time goes on and so forth and so on, as these locks continue to challenge me in certain ways, you guys, I have to be serious about this and become more vigilant. so that I don't become a statistic. So I consider myself a pioneer in this area, and it's something that I really am going to be studying and paying a lot of attention to, because my Sisterlocks journey has been a beautiful journey, but a lot of that has to do with the creative control that I took over my hair from the very beginning. That's just kind of my nature, and I want to share those experiences on the channel with you, which is why I try to do videos that I hope enrich you and aren't just here for entertainment, but they give you something to think about. A few extra dendrites ain't gonna hurt us, right? We already know we got more than men. Ain't nobody complaining. Oh, and by the way, stick around to the end of the video. If you want to, if you're into Oracle, I'm going to pull an Oracle card. For some of you guys, you've commented and you're getting some messages that feel good to you. And that's the only thing that matters, that it feels good to you. So this is Melee Last. And this was 4 days ago. It wasn't the most recent comment, but this was in that video about the hair loss. Beautiful Sheila and a couple of the other sisters lent some pictures to me for those thumbnails. Shout out to you sisters as well. I really appreciate it. She said, she telling the truth, y'all. I hear everything she's saying, and it's the truth. I can hear it too when people retighten my hair. I hear the pulling and the breaking of my hair when they retighten, and they have the nerve to get an attitude when you say something to them. That's what I had. That's what really got me, that part right there. Because I have a storyline. I got a story to tell y'all about that. I live in an area in Oakland, California, where there's not a lot of people that do Sisterlocks, and I have multiple sclerosis, which makes it hard to do my own hair. Plus, I know I couldn't do the back of my head on my own. I took the class. You can contact me and take pictures, or I can contact me and take pictures. I must have missed, there was a typo there. Better yet, give me a referral of someone in this area. That is good, okay? So you can go to that Loc video about losing hair, and if you know anyone out in Oakland, California that's good, that you can refer Melee to, type it in the comment section. You'll find her comment. It was literally 4 days ago. So when she said the part and people get an attitude when you say something to them, it just made me think about when I went to get my braces done a few weeks back. And the time before that and last time, they didn't have the same young girl that does my braces. And this new lady was doing my braces. And yeah, I'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm easy to please. I'm not quick to jump to conclusions. But I noticed the first time she did them in the session before that, every time I turned around, not every time, I'm exaggerating, she was looking up behind at the TV or something, and then her hands were still moving in my mouth. So this last time, she did that a few times, and not only that, she kept hitting my gum with the tool. And the thing is, I took all these little pointy things on my brackets, and I took my own tool and bent them in, because I was sick of telling them that this was rubbing up against my gum or that was rubbing up against my gum. Y'all, I'm just a maverick. I like to be in charge of what's going on, whether it's these or this. So I went and I bent them all in, okay? And they work fine. And every other person that I've been going to for the last year and a few months has been able to go in and put the rubber bands on and move the wires and do whatever they need to do. So, you know, I was being very polite, and I'm saying to myself, now, how many times is that little tool going to slip and tap on my gum? No, it wasn't painful, but it doesn't have to happen when you're paying attention to what you're doing and you're taking your time. And a couple times I looked up at her like this. And then the last time I just took an exhale. Now, maybe that was passive aggressive. Maybe I should have just said, sister, would you please slow down? That tool is hitting my gum. And also, if you wouldn't mind not stopping to look back at that daggone TV while you got that daggone tool in my mouth. Just jokes. But seriously, maybe I needed to have been more forthright and more assertive, but I took a deep inhale to communicate, because my mouth is open and her hands are all in my mouth. And what I noticed she did was she looked at me and she said she was sorry. Now, she should have been saying that all along, because this wasn't the first time. But then on top of that, a few minutes later, she pulled back, right? And she was doing something else, and then somebody else came to finish my mouth. Now, that person was better, but it wasn't Kiki, I think is her name, the young lady who's been doing my mouth, who I prefer. But I said to myself, now, I'm the client, she's the practitioner. I'm paying you, not just the orthodontist, whom I care a great deal for, I'm paying you. But it's hard to find quality people today, y'all. There have been so many people running through some of the shops in the places that I go through for regular services just due to a high turnover. And I'm thinking now, she never said, you know what, how about I let you give Felita, I'm just giving a name, Felita, a shot. She may be able to do a better job. My hand keeps slipping. Just be patient with me, Miss Ali. I'll be right back. And then the other lady comes and da-da-da-da-da. None of that, not a goodbye, not a, you know what, I'm so sorry, just keep it, whatever. The point is, today, in the kind of society we live in today, it is not the world of the client is always right anymore. We live in a world where you can hardly say anything to anybody and they're ready to fly off the handle. Long gone is the wait time, the reaction time, the empathy, the let me put myself in your shoe, or how about the let me accept responsibility for the substandard work that I'm doing. So that's the type of thing that when Melee brought this up, I could so relate. Even though I've never had this problem with either of my locticians, dealing with a person who's creating some type of discomfort, and rather than them recognize what the critical components are of the client server or the client practitioner relationship, they rather take it personal, as if you've done something to them by letting them know that what they're doing to your hair is actually hurting. And why is it that they can't empathize with you and act as if they know what it feels like to be in that chair and have something pulling on their head and be hurting? I just don't get that. If you have loctician consultants like that, y'all need to kick rocks. Y'all need to get rid of them. You need to kick them to the curb. If somebody that you're paying on a regular basis gets an attitude with you and they can't accept the feedback, a reminder, a gentle reminder, even repeated reminders are one thing. But when you're dealing with somebody who doesn't want to hear your feedback and they have the nerve to get agitated and irritated because you told them, you know what, this is hurting my head, even if it is the 5th time you had to tell them that, and all they need to do is be more conscientious, be more fully present in the moment, and be more aware of their own hand movements, then you know what, you don't need them. So that shout out to Melee. I really could commiserate with that comment. This next one is Jasmine J. This is 5 days ago. This is from the video I did on loose ends. All right, y'all remember that group? You never told me you were waiting, contemplating. Do 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 do. Loose Ends was a group. I'm sorry, y'all. I digress, but I love that song, man. If I could find that song right now. So, she, in this one, y'all, I gotta do it. I can't help myself. So, she was complaining about the fact that here, you know, she's put in locks into her little girl's head, and she's never had a problem with y'all. Oh, I'm not going to be able to monetize this video, but that's okay. Who cares? YouTube gets in the habit of screwing me anyway. They're going to give me a copyright violation, but it's okay, y'all. Don't y'all remember this? I got to find the climax. Mystery to me. This is the climax that I really love. What am I supposed to do? I think this is it. No, that's not it. Wait. I'm not your plaything. Got me hanging on a string and I'm not your plaything. I ain't your plaything. Okay, I digress, y'all, but I have to do my thing. I love music and I don't listen to it as much as I used to, but when I do, y'all, it just... I got my theme songs, okay? So this is her comment, and this is what I could really jive with. In all caps, she said, "This is what I'm dealing with about 7 exclamation points. I locked my daughters to the ends and expected the person to do the same thing with mine. I want my ends, in all caps, closed, because they are too open and causing frizz. I was told I would do more harm than good, and it would leave holes, and to just trust the process. Okay, so now Efraj started at the very end of mine, as thin as it was, and worked her way all the way up. I'm sure probably adding a few extra hours. So somebody's saying that by doing that, it's going to leave more holes and it's going to create a problem. And then what's the loose hair going to do? Look like a traditional lock? I don't know. Y'all tell me. I want to hear y'all sound off. I want to know what you think. So I was told it would do more harm than good, and it would leave holes, and to just trust the process. And I'm like, this is what she says. No, all caps. I know what I want, exclamation point. My daughter's hair ends are still intact. So I did one myself to prove it can be done. Long story short, ellipses, ... I'm just going to have to close my ends myself. But watching this just confirmed everything I'm feeling. I paid too much money to have half my hair locked. And that's the thing. They're charging you for the entire length of the lock. That's what you're paying for. And then they're going to not lock $50 or $75 or $100, $150, and it just goes up $50 to $75 for every inch. And they're not going to lock that part, but you're going to be charged for that, right? Now, sister has to go back, Jasmine has to go back and close her own ends. But watching this just confirmed everything I'm feeling. I paid too much money to have half my hair locked, and now I have to put in the time to lock the ends. But it will look better overall and be easier to retain my length. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's Jasmine having to deal with the residue of something that somebody else should have done. Something that she paid somebody to do. Something that if they were conscientious enough, they would have done. And I will tell you this, when it comes down to this hairstyle and the money that you're investing or anything that you pay for, y'all, I'm just going to be honest, whether you're eating out somewhere or something else, granted, there's a way to deal with your displeasure with something, and we're not trying to make life difficult for people, but your money has value. Your time has value. The time that it took you to show up and choose a particular person to provide some level of service for you, it has value, and you have a right to give feedback. And if it's not done right, then you vote with your feet, then you walk. If you end up with a loctician and you're watching this, look, when I had my hair done, y'all probably remember this in earlier videos. Some of you, I had the mirror like this. I had a big mirror, and this is one, I need to remake a video on what to take when you get your Sisterlocks installed. I had a big mirror like this, and I was watching. First of all, I wanted to see, what is this pattern? What does this thing look like? How do they start these locks? I was shocked to know that the lock was started at the bottom and then moved to the top versus starting up here and moving down. I was very ignorant. I wanted to see the rotation, what was happening. It's my head. And this is something I'm overseeing. Would you let somebody come into your house and remodel it and never show up after you paid them? And watch them do the work, y'all? Today, you have got to be on top of everything. We do not live in the world that we used to live in. And it's unfortunate, but we don't. It's one thing when people make a sincere effort and they fall short. We can dialogue about that. Nobody's perfect. But when someone is not conscientious or they are deliberately being neglectful or negligent, that's something that we have to speak out on. So you're watching, if you're seeing that they're not closing the ends, honey, after the first few locks, if you can't get them to understand that you don't care about what is going to happen in the long term, and you don't care about how they've done everyone else's hair, of course, in a nice way, but you want them to close your ends. I don't care what you have to tell them. You may need to say, I had Sisterlocks in the past, and this is what happened because she left my ends open. So I don't want my ends open. Whatever it takes for you to ensure that you get the level of service that you deserve, all you're doing is embracing the experience that I'm telling you will actually happen if they do not close those ends. For those of you who have a different viewpoint, please let me know. But I know with the bunching and the slipping and the unraveling and all the other stuff that we deal with these Sisterlocks, the last thing you want is some ends that are fat as this thumb here, because and somebody trying to make you believe that they're going to look like the length of your lock because you didn't say anything. If they don't shift in their technique and close your ends, you need to get up out the chair. I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm assuming you haven't paid until after the job is done. You may lose your deposit. I don't know. But at that point, if you kindly say, I respect your work. I spent a lot of time choosing you for this service. And I'm so grateful that we were able to connect like this. It's just very important that I have these ends closed. Whatever the reasons are that you give them, and let them know that you would really like for them to do that. And if that's not something that they're with, you tell them you really like for them to do that and leave it there. If it doesn't seem like it's something they're willing to do, then you have to say, this is looking like it's not going to be something that you're willing to do. And I'm not willing to go through this long, arduous process and have to have my hair relocked or to spend time trying to remediate the ends that you refuse to lock, in parentheses. But that's not what you're going to say. And you need to leave the chair. Because if they can't listen to you now, how are they going to listen to you down the line? They want to override your common sense and your intuition for their inability to conform and be flexible. And in some cases, just admit that what you're doing is wrong. One of you all on the channel told me that there was a sister who was putting a little bit of glue so that the lock wouldn't unravel. And she convinced her that that was okay. Now, think about that. This is someone who's decided to treat your human hair the way we did when we used to do the individual braids and the extensions. You know how you put the little glue there when you would plait it all the way down so that it didn't unravel? That was something we got hip to after my college days, because in my college days, we used the heat and you just dip it in the hot water and that would hold it. But then they got hip and they just put a little dab of glue on there, right? And they would just look so beautiful and so straight and all of that. Putting glue on the lock or doing some of the other things that some of these people do, telling you this is the grid and that doesn't look like the grid, or something that's too fat and you know it should be split up into more than one lock. All these things that they may be doing that you don't really feel good about. Provided you've done your research, you need to speak up about it, because if you don't, it's going to happen with more things. And I know this video is getting long and I've only gotten to 2 comments, but bear with me, okay? Deanna A, 2 hours ago, as of this video, and this video is being done on a Tuesday. It may not launch until next week. I'm trying to get more videos in the queue, you guys. I'm trying to love on y'all the way y'all been loving on me. All right? So I got to do a better job. How often do you recommend washing your hair when first installed? All right. This is a tricky question, because honestly, I can't remember what the washing cycle was when I first got my locks, although I do think I remember when I was told I needed to wash it before I returned for, or sometime in between the install and when I returned. I remember feeling afraid to wash because I was like, I'm supposed to wash them, are they gonna come out, what's gonna happen, blah 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 blah. As I've grown in my knowledge, I feel that this advice that I'm about to give probably would cover you in general. In general, I wash my hair as little as possible. I told y'all, some of y'all would probably think I was dirty if I told y'all that I wash my hair every 10 or 11 weeks, but it's the truth. And my scalp is always clean, and my scalp doesn't have buildup, and my scalp used to always be problematic until I started using my I Am Melanin Magic hair oil. But that's what I designed it for, because I used to have very real scalp issues. Okay, by the way, if you're interested in getting that, 678-438-6442, or click on the link in the description, IamMelaninMagic.com. So here's the thing. It is important, with all the scalp issues that I've dealt with the exercise, the running, everything that I do, you guys, I personally don't feel that my hair is suffering due to a lack of washing. In fact, I feel the opposite is true. I feel that my hair would be in worse condition. Not that it's in worse condition now, but it's not as in great a shape as it could be, because I'm constantly opening up the ends and taking out lint and just pulling the bottoms off. And I've dyed my hair many times, so you know, I also took a lot of my locks down, guys, when I was dealing with the what you call it, the bulging and all of that other stuff. But that's fine. I take full responsibility for it. I also know my hair is very, very healthy, and I know I would be in far worse shape than I am now had I not put the additional nutrition back into my hair. So back at the ranch, I digress. So washing it too much, to me, is what's problematic. In the beginning, it's even more risky because your hair can unravel and will unravel, which is why we have to braid and band. And I've seen some people braiding and banding, y'all, really, really tight to where it's like a cornrow. And I'm like, no, I never braided and banded like that. But braiding all the way down to the end and putting a little rubber band on and making sure you're washing your hair like this. And really, if you have short pieces, taking those short pieces out and doing a separate little braid. You got to braid and band when you wash, period. I did that for many years, y'all. I did that well beyond 2-3 years and would still do it occasionally. A year before now, I was still doing it occasionally. I haven't braided and banded now, probably in a few months. But when I color my hair, it expands a lot, unrulily so, and that's not even a word. So I braid and band whenever I do a rinse or whenever I would color my hair. The time after that, I would braid and band after I'd already done my initial rinse. It's convenient. And then as your locks get longer, y'all, and the water hits them, it gets heavier. And to me, it just prolongs the integrity of the lock to limit the weight as much as possible. All right, it just does. So I would say, to answer the question, it's really a personal choice depending upon what is causing you to feel like you need to wash your hair. Are you having scalp issues? Is it just because you're new to the journey and you're coming out of the paradigm of what you used to do when your hair was relaxed or when you had another type of style? If the hair is not really dirty, even if you're working out a lot, you can do things with the sweat. You can do sprays. You can do a lot of other things that fight what happens when your hair starts to sweat without having to fully submerge your head and do a full-on rinse or wash. I just don't think it's necessary. I would say do it according to your retightening schedule. If you know your loctician is going to wash your hair when you go get your hair done and you're getting your hair done every 6 weeks, the bold and the brave would wait 6 to 8 weeks each time they went and got it done. I could easily wait that length of time. But if she wants your hair to be washed prior to you coming in, then I would do it a week or two before, possibly, if not a few days before. If you're someone that it feels really bad if you have to wash it, I would say wash it right in the middle between retightenings. But I would say to try to limit that as much as you possibly can. Beautiful, beautiful, Deanna. That's my advice. Ladies, please chime in the comment section and let her know what you think. Next, Felita64 did a shout out to you already. I made it to the end. Okay, she says, I made it to the end. My hair is hard. Why? I got your oil. I think maybe that's why I got your oil. I think I saw you, Felita, in another comment saying that you were using the rose oil or something on your hair, or what else you could put on your hair to keep it from feeling hard. And my concern was, what is it that's making your hair feel hard? Because your locks, other than color, my hair will never be as soft as it used to be because of all the color I put in it. That changed the texture of my hair with locks. But when I stopped using the actual permanent hair dye, like the, what was it, Vidal Sassoon, I tried a Dark and Lovely or one of the other ones. The longer I go without using those, the better. Okay, I also don't put my oil on the ends the way I used to. I used to put a lot of my oil on my hair, y'all, and that's why it was growing so profusely, and it was like a lion's mane. All right, but I've had to rework my hair, as you know, over the last year and a half. You change when your hair lets you know you need to change. And I was doing it so much, and I was washing so infrequently, and then I wasn't washing thoroughly. If you all remember, I used to just wash one time, okay? And then I realized I needed to wash thoroughly. I needed to wash 3 times. I needed to spend more than, y'all don't like to spend time making up my face, putting on clothes, or any of that stuff. I like a quick, trouble-free life. I like the flow. So I would be in there, wash it one time, and that would be the end of it. As long as I did this thing up here, I would do a little bit of this, and that would be it. That wasn't sufficient, because at the time I was using my oil a lot on my hair, y'all. I was putting it on every single day, and I was putting a lot on, okay? And then it started feeling heavy after some years, and I was like, okay. And I remember thinking I needed to cut my hair. And then I met that lady who was psychic at the Jeju sauna, and she walked up to me and said, don't cut your hair. And we sat down and talked for 2 hours while I was sitting on this thing, in the women's side of the sauna, doing my hair like this and washing. And when I was done, I could not believe how light it was. So I was like, hello. So that's when I shifted part of my hair care routine. So what I would say is, really, why is your hair hard? Now, the few pieces of my hair that I have that may be hard are hard because when I took the lock out and I put the lock back in, either by doing it the way I saw a Frage do it or by plaiting it and then taking the little tool and pulling down this way until I got a hole and then looping that through the needle and going back, I had a hard little thing there. Didn't bother me. I'm not one of those, when you do your own lock, you don't have Sisterlocks anymore. I'm not one of those people, and my locks have loved every change that I've made to them. But in doing that, either not leaving enough space or pulling too hard, it left a little hard area, which over time has, you know, the lock is going to do what it's going to do. You can't stop the hair. You can't stop the madness. You can't stop the rebellion. The need to be free and to coil the way it wants to coil our beautiful, beautiful locks. It will eventually, even those areas have softened out. Okay, now as the length of the lock will probably more naturally be a little more firm than this part of your lock, because this is newer coming down from the root. But my question is, what is making your locks hard? They should not feel hard. They're not going to feel like relaxed hair either, and it won't feel like your natural hair. So you're going to feel like you have a lock, if you know what I mean, but they should not feel hard. And if so, using the oil should help tremendously. Try spraying a little extra of the oil on your hair. I have to wonder if you've ever colored before, because that's going to be the number one thing that's going to contribute to your locks feeling that way. Also, I have to ask, are you using, what kind of shampoo are you using? If you're using conditioner, which I don't really recommend, your hair is going to feel very soft. Clearly, it's going to feel softer. But that softness can create other problems for you down the line, depending upon where you are in your journey. So if you're using a clarifying shampoo, or you're using a kind of shampoo that's a little rougher, roughening your cuticles, it's a little rougher on the hair is going to feel a little bit more crisp, but it shouldn't feel hard. You know how you can hear this? It shouldn't feel hard. So that's what I would want to ask you, Felita. Ladies in the comment section, please chime in. Let me know what you think. Last comment for Plumber CRS. Oh, so how often are you putting the oil in your hair, being that you only wash it when you get a retie? Are you using the oil daily or weekly? Now, remember, in the beginning, I used to use the oil probably every day, every other day. I would spray it really good in here, massage it, put it on here. I would always do it in the morning so that it would soak up. My hair soaks up a lot of oil, so that it would soak up a lot of the oil prior to me getting into bed at night, so that I didn't have stuff all over the place, or have, you know, I'm not where I'm going to have it running down my clothes. But, you know, everybody's hair is different. Some people's hair can take more oil than other people's hair. Now I use the oil twice, maybe 3 times a week. Most of the time, twice a week. Okay, there's this area here I'm experimenting on. This area has always been a little thinner than this area over here, okay? And I notice it more when I get my retightening. So I'm experimenting with the Magical Growth Serum as of the last 2 weeks or week and a half. So I put a lot of it right there and I massage it in because I want to thicken this area up. It's something that I noticed quite a bit the last time I got my retightening. Now, you guys know I don't like the plucked chicken look. So even though this is filled in, I'm halfway through needing my next retightening. I'm beyond halfway through. I may be 6 or 7 weeks in. So I said, okay, I want to see right in here is about where I put it. And I massage it in really, really good. I'm trying to do that every day. Even though my usage instructions say 3 times, that is a guideline. That is for you to gradually step into this, making sure that you're not having any allergies or anything like that. Because plenty ladies tell me they use the Magical Hair Growth Serum and the hair oil spray, and they're doing it every day. And the lady who I put in the last video at the end, I think it was the, I don't know, it might not have been the Sisterlocks video secrets. It might have been the one before that. that, but her name was Karen. You can see in 3 months, she went from this to having a whole pocket of hair like this. Like the whole area was filled in like how you would do a little infant's hair. She's using both of them, and she's using them daily, I believe. I personally use the oil 2 times a week most times. Occasionally 3 times. Sometimes I might use it once a week. I need to be more consistent with twice a week on a regular basis. I will tell you this, beyond a shadow of a doubt. If you want to be getting more reties and you want your hair growing faster, use that oil every single day and you will see the difference. Okay? You will see that between the time you go in to get your retie and the time you need another one, or when you get in that seat the next time, your loctician is going to notice that you need an extra roll. Your hair is going to grow faster. All right? Now, I'm okay with my length. And I'm already at 11 weeks. And the last time, was it the last time or the time before that, guys, that I went and got my retightening? I think I waited an extra week or something. All I know is my hair was a lot more retangled. I think it was between the time I did the commercial and I had Naima to do a very loose retightening. Didn't want to go in and get a full retightening because I didn't want the plucked chicken look, which I don't like. I don't know if that had something to do with it or not. All I know is... but at that time, I didn't have a huge batch of the oils. Now I have a huge batch of the oils. I have hundreds of them, okay, because of the way you guys are ordering, which meant that I was doing the oils as they were coming in, which meant every time I over poured something and it was on my counter, I had to do one of these numbers, okay? Or I had to do like this because I wasn't going to throw the oil out. So at that time, I was using a lot of the oil and it was all over and my hair it grew a lot more. So the answer to that question really is not a simple one. None of my answers are simple. But right now, I do use it twice a week. That's my goal, to do it on a regular basis twice a week. And I am going to start putting more on my ends. All right. And you were saying, but since I only wash it when I get a retie. Even though, like, because even if you didn't wash it until you got a retie, you could still use it every day if you chose to. Your hair may not need it every day though, really. If your scalp, when you put your hands on it like this, still you can feel some oil, you don't really need it every day. If you're doing it, do it very lightly. This is a much lighter variety of the oil. It just really is. So you could be safe doing it 5 times a week. If you did a little every day, which you really don't need, but if you were really trying to increase hair growth, you could do it that way. But don't let when you get your retie, as long as you wash it out thoroughly in between times to make sure you're not carrying the weight, because that bottle, y'all, it's 8 ounces of liquid and it's got a little weight to it. It's roughly 12 ounces in the box. All right, that's a little bit of weight. Imagine that all in your head, minus the container and the sprayer and all that other stuff. That's going to be in your hair. So let's just be realistic. It's going somewhere, right? So you do need to make sure that you're washing it out thoroughly in between. If you're using it here, especially. If you're just using it on your scalp, even still, because as you go through this journey, guys, we're in it for the long haul. It's important to keep the hair clean. You're not going to see buildup really with this stuff. So there's not going to be anything to show you, oh, this is still in my hair. But come on, we know just by, it's still in your hair. It's not going to all be absorbed, and where is it going? So you do have to make sure you wash very, very thoroughly. All right. Some of you even, if you really like the oil, and I don't really recommend this, but some of you even could mix it with a little bit of water and shake it and then put it throughout your scalp. But I don't really recommend that. But I know everybody has something different that works for them. And y'all know I'm all about you doing what works for you and not listening to me or anybody else, because my oil may not work for everybody. I know it's going to make your hair grow. I'm going to say it's going to do that for 100% of the people, provided you don't have some underlying medical condition or there's something else. There's not something else that's going on. But you may find you may find I don't like the way it smells. Or you may say, it feels, I need something heavier. Or I need something lighter. Whatever it is you may say, everybody is different. And we all have a repertoire of different things that we may be doing to help us arrive at what we feel works for us. For me, it's the oil and my shampoo with the Bronner Brothers. Occasionally I'll condition only after I've dyed my hair, using whatever they tell me to do in the pack and following the instructions. Other than that, I don't do much else with my hair. It's except trying not to wash it, okay? Selena Hollins, love you, made it to the end. Much love, sister. Got your order a few weeks ago. I remember your name. And then one last one. I found you in the beginning of 2020. This is Whitney, 3 weeks ago, and you inspired me to get my locks. I know I must have scrolled down and missed some, I think. These can't be the most recent ones because you guys always are commenting. Your advice never fails, and since getting my Sisterlocks, I've been using your oil. My hair has flourished and grown tremendously. Whitney, I think I remember you. We talked via text. Even the eczema on my scalp has subsided. And I think I remember being quite shocked about that, because sometimes, depending upon the nature of your eczema, rosacea, psoriasis, there can be some irritation. So to find that this was very healing for you, I was very happy about that, and I was very surprised about that. But that's another unintended consequence. Like some people, Ollie's having a lot of hair to grow back. Her hair is growing in a little gray, but she said, I'll take the gray because at least something's growing in that area. A few of you, including my dad, is saying he thinks he's seeing less gray. There are 3 ingredients in there that should help to combat gray. But overall, depending upon why you have gray in the first place, if it's related to coloring, if it's related to stress, if it's related to the weakness of your hair follicles, whatever it is, you may need different things in order to help heal some of the gray. Some of you have talked about other things that it has helped you with. So everybody's different, but shout out to you, Whitney. I really appreciate you. Oh, she ended with, you are the truth, Miss Ali. You are the truth too, Whitney, with your beautiful self. You are the truth too. I think her emoji or her little ID is looks like a African violet, maybe. I think it's maybe an African violet. But thank you, Whitney. I'm sending love out to all of y'all. This video went much longer than I thought. But please leave some comments in the comment section, and I'm going to definitely do more videos like this because it helps me to connect with you guys more, and it helps you also to be able to go in the comment section and to add your comments for the sisters who come back and peruse the comment section looking for input from other people other than just me. Oracle card, I almost forgot. Gotta do the Oracle card. Y'all, I'm at 42 minutes. This is crazy. I gotta go live one day. I think I did a live one time a long time ago. Shout out to Sisterlocks 2018. I don't really know how to do it, but I'm gonna try it again. It's been a while. But I think you need a moderator out there because a lot of people troll and they make sexual comments and they say ugly, explicit things. So I think you need a troll. You need a troll. We don't need trolls. I think you need somebody who moderates. So if you're willing to do that, leave it in the comment section. I'll eventually see it and call on you, hopefully, when I do my live, or you'll see me go live and you'll come in and assume the position. Oh, y'all beloved. You are your beloved. You are your beloved. Raise yourself. Raise the bar for yourself. Okay? But love on yourself so other people can love on you. This is about radical acceptance, y'all. And this is a me-tox underneath, which is repairing the mind, body, and spirit. Now, I'm going to give you 2 messages here. For some of you, this is about accepting and loving on yourself more because someone else is not showing an acknowledgement of your value in their life. And so as such, it's time for you to do a me-tox and detox and repair your mind, body, and spirit by getting that person out of your life. Okay, so you are being your own beloved at this time, and you're putting yourself up at the top of the food chain. You're doing the things that make you feel good and make you feel happy. And this is the number 2, y'all. So that's relationships, that's partnerships, that's decisions, is being at crossroads and so forth and so on. And this is 39, which is a mathematically perfect number. It's also 12. It is also 3. So this is asking you, what are you creating in your life? 33. What are you creating in your life? Let's quickly go over this. There may be a message in here for you. Loving what is. When the beloved appears, it requires 100% of your heart, body, and soul. Don't try to squeeze the beloved into your schedule. Drop the busyness and receive the one you have been waiting for. Know that this card comes as a mirror to show you the divine within and invite your radical acceptance of everything you consider beautiful or ugly in your being. Y'all, this may not seem like a big deal, but I've been wearing more sleeveless shirts this year than ever in my life. Last year was the first time I started even branching out, wearing sleeveless or wearing short sleeves. Y'all know I used to be in a real conservative, religious mental space. And even if I wasn't, I didn't like my shoulders. Guess what? I radically accept my shoulders today. I love my shoulders, and I like the freedom that I feel when I'm going shirt free on my shoulders. Radical acceptance about everything. I used to look in the mirror and criticize myself all the time. Was never enough for myself. Was never satisfied. Always had something to say. Didn't like my feet. Didn't like this or didn't like that. It's one thing to improve and to enhance, but to constantly berate yourself and to put yourself down, you lose the benefit of loving on you. And then your body actually starts to rebel against you. So the voice within and the inner critic and whatever it is that you're telling yourself on a regular basis, that junk is important. All right. The beloved may not be a person at all. It might be a business venture, a project, or an adventure calling for your full attention. Surrender to this truth and know that you are gaining a passport to bliss, even when it feels that you are being consumed by the fire. Y'all know what it's like to come through the fire that scorches your soul but prepares you for something greater on the other side. Radical acceptance, radical forgiveness, radical being, radical loving on yourself, and radically being present for whatever it is you need to be present for in your life. Do not hold back or be afraid, for you will emerge transformed. Surrender is the key, and allow yourself to be loved. Okay. Surrender and allowing yourself to be loved, opening up to being loved. Guys, I'm doing a manifesting true love, new love on my Butterfly Transformations channel. Check out that series starting from the first video and understand what it really is to be in the energy of being in the love energy and being in the vibration of attracting what it is that you want into your life by first becoming the energy of what it is you want into your life. So this is you requiring that of yourself so that you can attract that from somebody else. But it's also being open to accepting what love looks like when it's showing up at your doorstep. If this happens to be something. For some of you all out here, this message is coming through as you need to detox some of the negative attitudes and poor dispositions that you maybe have related to finding love, because it may be pushing away some of the opportunities that are right around you and some of the love that's actually already existing in your world. So it becomes a detox on your end, but it also becomes purging those things that really don't align with what it is you're trying to create in your life. So loving on you, y'all, is the cure to everything. Self-worth, confidence, self-esteem, finding the love of your life, making all the money that you can want to make, whatever abundance means to you, having better health, all of that stuff, having a better relationship with God, all of that stuff is what's at the core of it. Is, do you value yourself? What is your self-worthiness quotient? What is your self-love quotient? Your SLQ. Here comes the message that I was talking about. Be careful. Okay? Oh, wait. Let's go back. Under the harsh critic, out the door, and shut your eyes and ears to the judgment of others who have not been ignited by the divine blaze consuming you, for they will only attempt to douse your fire and leave you choking on the smoke. So it's about allowing yourself to be loved. Usher in the harsh critic, the one that's constantly criticizing you, the one that really doesn't feel good about herself, which is causing you to push away other things in your life. Be careful you are not seduced by false promises or falling prey to your extraordinary ability to sabotage your dreams and desires. Sink with and sink in to your heart and trust your sense of what is true, and you will know what to do. The true beloved is never false. Every gift proffered is valuable. Recognize the many faces of the beloved and welcome them into your heart. You will be so glad you did. This is really calling you to true self-analysis and digging into where you are in your love life, If you're honoring yourself, if you're being honored where you are in your love life, if you're seeking partnership or you're seeking union with someone, is that something that's toxic for you? Or what is it that you're bringing to the table that may be toxic? Are you loving yourself enough to make sure that you're attracting the energy of what it is you want to really create in your life? It's never too late to change the frequency of a relationship. I don't care where you are in that relationship if that is what you want. All right, that last one, me talks, real quick, y'all. I see the energy of a spiritual bath here. I have the directions and just some input for you on spiritual baths on my Butterfly Transformations channel. When the Metox card appears, it challenges you to discard the deep, dearly held judgments that you've passed over yourself and others. Release the people who you feel wrong or offended you. Release them by cutting them loose and letting them go, but also release them by forgiving the situation. Forgive your past, bless the past, let them go. You can release somebody by emotionally detaching and not physically release them from your life. Only then can you call from your life the toxic people you have allowed into your inner circle, y'all. It's time for a detox. I keep telling y'all, this is the year of the great purge. This is a year of release. This is the year of cutting the umbilical cord. This is the year of ushering in the new and outing what is no longer working. It's time for a cleaning of your proverbial house. This is your house, baby. This is your temple. This is your house. This is your house. Get rid of the thoughts and personal judgments poisoning your mind. Eliminate the inauthentic beliefs of others you have adopted as your own. Do so before your mind makes you sick, and empty your literal cupboards of unhealthy junk food poisoning your body. That's a whole nother challenge I'm in the midst of. If y'all saw the video I did with Sophia, y'all know where I'm trying to go with my diet. I fell off. I got right back up and got back on again. Had something a little too sweet. It just tears me up. Okay, I've been doing great though with the dairy and the wheat, y'all. I'm so proud of myself. The grains. Fast for one day or skip a meal to allow your body to cleanse itself and rid itself of toxins. Maybe some of you have been thinking about doing not just an emotional fast or a technology fast or a mental fast. Maybe you're thinking about doing intermittent fasting or fasting. Here is your confirmation. Metox appears as a warning that you can no longer postpone the self-care and pampering you long for. The time is now. Do healthy maintenance on your body before you have to make repairs that you will never quite recover from. Issues that I have right now in my life in terms of my discomfort have everything to do with the abuse that I put on my body before I came into this stage of spiritual awakening that I've been in for the last eight or so years. Everything I did before that, I'm paying for now. The rigidity in which I lived, the way that I had to have control over everything, paying for that now in my joints. Rigidity settles in your joints. I'm paying for the inflammatory foods I ate. Everything I put in my mouth today, y'all, I pay for if I'm not careful. So heed that advice, okay? Metox has come to you to caution you that it is not too late, but you are at the 11th hour. Do not deprive yourself of the health you deserve. Look at your life, folks. Beautiful butterflies and perfect people. If there's folks you need to cut out, if there are things you need to stop listening to, stuff you're putting in your mind, body, soul, and spirit is damaging. Got to be very selective. These are serious times that we're living in, y'all. Time is quickening. Time is speeding up. If you hadn't noticed, you pay for everything you do now with the quickness. Whether it's something you put in your mouth, somebody you listen to, somebody you no longer have patience to deal with. Each time you let that negative, low vibrational, dream-killing energy in, you pay for it. So whatever it is you need to detox from your life, get it out, get it out, get it out. I love y'all. Hope y'all have a beautiful rest of your day. Whenever you see this video, could be nighttime, could be daytime, could be evening or morning. Lots of love to you. Bye.